Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, Tammy Lynn Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to the podcast. Oh, it just feels like it's been forever since I've talked to you, and I don't really think it's been that long, probably because I did not record on Sunday like I normally do. I'll talk about that in a moment, but I want to welcome you to the April energy forecast. It's going to be quite an interesting little ride through the month of April, and I want to just kind of have us get settled. This one is a little bit different, and I'll explain why in just a moment. So if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the TLC for the Soul family. I'm happy to have you join us. You can just hang out here if you want and see how we roll at TLC for the Soul, or you can do the full immersion into how we listen here on the podcast. So we will leave that up to you. For our returning listeners, I want to thank you so much for joining me yet again on another podcast episode. The month of April is totally off, but they're all different months, but we move into a new quarter of the year, and we're doing a big shift in terms of the energies. So thank you for joining me wherever you're joining me from, if it's YouTube or iHeartRadio or Audible, or I don't even know where we are, all over the place now. I want to thank you and welcome you back. As always, here on the podcast, you choose the way you want to listen. This whole podcast is a journey in and of itself, and every month I offer you resources to help you on your path, on your journey, wherever you may be in that space. So if you're new or you're not quite sure what's going on, you can just choose to sit back and relax and listen, grab your favorite drink and hang out with us here. Or you can choose to listen from another perspective, a higher perspective. And you can join me around the sacred circle as I wrap us all in a circle of love, light, and light love, inviting in the spirit guides who would like to join us for this mysterious month of April. We'll get more into that as we go on here. Or you can choose to take your listening experience a step higher, and you can invite your own spirit guides into this sacred circle, sacred space, for we are one. Our hearts are one. Our souls are one. As we listen to this update for the coming or the month of April, whenever you're listening to this, it's timeless. Asking your guides to share with you any intuitive messages or downloads or information that are especially for you in this month. So let's get settled. I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to pick which candle wants to come out, and I think it's one that's kind of far away from me, so I'm going to go grab it. Just one moment. All right, so this little home is my happy place candle, and it's been coming out a lot lately. And the scent, I forgot about this, the scent is Coastal Spring. So we're lighting that now. Also, the music we have playing in the background is dolphin singing and soothing water sounds. Although I've yet to hear a dolphin do anything yet in this song. All right, I do want to do a quick little recap of the past 3 months from January to March, because we're closing out March, and March was all about fire and Tantra and union. The theme was unity, union, and Tantra. It was a very dynamic month with a lot going on. And the past quarter, from January through March, we've been working with, these are the themes that my guides gave me for each quarter of the year, or each turn of the wheel, because we just had the spring equinox. The first quarter was love and relationships, sacred partnerships. So we've just finished that body of work, and if you're interested in any of that, every month we do the energy forecast. There's energy stories where I come on and I channel the stories, and we talk about the metaphors and the meanings, and we just have fun and get entertained with the stories that channel through me for you all. We have a different podcast series, the Shaman's Drum or the Earth Song series. It's a meditation series and a shamanic healing series. We also talk to different spirits or passed over souls. There was so much work I wanted to do in March that I just didn't have a chance to do. I wanted to talk to Janice Joplin. We haven't talked to her yet. It's kind of still on my list. I wanted to do an Earth Song meditation podcast with Krakatoa, and we just didn't have a chance to do that. And then all these volcanoes started erupting, and I was like, okay, we just need to send love to Mama Gaia. But I just have to trust that whatever body of work got done, and really instead of those things, I put 555 workshop out there on the podcast for everyone on St. Patrick's Day, and that, if you have not heard it, you can always take advantage of it. It's there in sequential order from day 1 through 5, and it's 5 miracles, 5 days, 5 light language activations, 5 elements. It's an amazing series and one of my most favorite pieces of work that I've created, in a sense. I guess Spirit just channeled that through me. But now we're moving into April, May, and June. And the guides have given me the overarching theme for these 3 months of nomad, changing landscapes. That in and of itself is mysterious. I'm like, what is that? What's a nomad? Well, I know what a nomad is. I know what to be nomadic means, right? You're not settled in one spot. You can move around quite a bit. Changing landscapes makes me think that there is a lot of movement, both internally and externally. But I want to just, before I go deeper into all of this, I want to just see what guides are supporting us here right now for this energy forecast. So I have Archangel Haniel with me. I have Neptune. I'm going to get in, I already know we're going to get in a lot of water spirits, because April showers bring May flowers, and I just feel like there's going to be a lot of emotional stuff happening in April. We have dolphins and whales. I'll speak about them in a moment. I've got some water spirits that I also work with, so we'll just see who else comes through as we're going along here. Oh, Nephthys is coming through. So she's an Egyptian goddess, so we'll talk more about Nephthys in a minute. When I started thinking about April, so I usually start to get the downloads about the coming month, maybe 3 or 4 days in advance. I think the downloads are already there, and I just start kind of unpacking them so much in advance so I can start feeling into them. And the cover art, the thumbnail for this month, is a picture out of an I Spy. This is all significant. Okay, so if you're listening from the higher perspective, you're going to read into, quote unquote, the metaphors and the things that I'm talking about here, more than just if you're just listening to me talk about a book. So this is about a book called I Spy Treasure Hunt, a book of picture riddles, and they're like really old. This is really old. I got it in a little free library. This one was copyright 1999. 999. And this one is amazing. It's a treasure hunt. This like whole little community that somebody put together. These books are so cool. But the picture is about looking through binoculars at like a little island off of where I'm going to say that the Rockaway Point is the town, because this is a town in this book. It's a little town. Somebody put together like little miniatures, you know, like they do like train miniature setups or whatever those are called. Well, this is kind of like that, except they put different objects in the pictures and you have to find them, is the premise of the book. But Rockaway Point has been a big theme in the Bringers of the Light series and in Chaga and Chai, which was our second book in my Soulmate series. So if you're not familiar with my books, you can read all the ebooks for free at Smashwords. The link is in the show notes or wherever you're seeing this, the show description or wherever it is. You know, the link is there. You can read any of my ebooks for free. And Rockaway Point was the starting point of the journey, oh my gosh, between Billy and Larimar, who were our two twin ray, or I heard someone the other day call them crystalline blue flame twins or something like that, crystalline twin flames. So twin flames that have really, really done the majority of their healing work that they needed to do before they came into union. And I think that's also known as like a twin ray. But Billy and Larimar were like twin rays in this book. And Larimar is from Rockaway Point, as is the coven that she is part of, which is the coven that's part of the Bringers of the Light, which is all the stories we did from October of last year to February, I think, with Tamber and Jameson and the Argyle Inn, which is going to be the next one published in that series. Pumpkin Pie Latte is out there now. If you're interested in that series, you can read that for free. And I'm getting ready to put all of the story notes or whatever into the manuscript for the Argyle Inn, so you can have that one to read next. And if you don't want to wait to read it, then you can go back in the show. It's easy to go back on the podcast. Just scroll back to like October, November, December. You'll see all those stories, Tamber and Jameson, the Argyle Inn, all of that, and you can listen to all of that. Those are timeless. All of this work really is timeless. If you are coming from YouTube, all of these stories are in the ASMR storytelling playlist. But the picture for this month was as if we were at Rockaway Point, which is a seaside town in Northern Ireland, and as if we were looking out through binoculars to a little island, tiny little island, not that far off. You can get to it by a little rowboat, and it's got like some castle ruins and some different stuff going on. Some, I want to say there's dolphins, although I don't see them. There's like a little sailboat, and there's some other stuff happening. And we're going to continue this month to draw off of this picture and this etheric location of Rockaway Point with this little island off the shore where you can take respite. If things get too heavy, you can take your little sailboat or your little rowboat out there, and you can go see what's going on in these castle ruins. Castles have been coming up very strongly, and I did not know this. Another Wayshower was saying castles were you can make anything a sign of something, but they said that castles for them was, and I've heard this more than once, that castles was a sign of twin flames coming into a twin flame union coming into 3D reality. So there's some little castle remains there. I also started reading a book called I Capture the Castle, which is an old book written in the 40s. So it's all about castles, water, emotions, and the spirit guides that are coming through for this month. So last month we had the Fiery Lion Shifter, and I must say that we did not work with him as much as I really wanted to work with him. We started a series of stories called The Spirit Guides of Tessa Locke, which is up on my website. If you want to read that stories, there's a page called Stories, and actually it's on my homepage. You can get to it from there. But The Spirit Guides of Tessa Locke is our ongoing story, working with all these spirit guides that want to work with us, that I have with me, that have been bound to me, energetically bound to me. That's a whole other story, but I have a lot of spirit guides that we can work with. And Fiery Lion Shifter kind of came in, and he kind of did his work, I guess, behind the scenes, and we didn't kind of hear from him too much. But this month I have 3 friends coming through. These again are 3 of the guides from my Spirit Guides auction that I partook in many years ago, where an intuitive psychic, or just Facebook friend of mine would have these spirit guide auctions, and she had like hundreds of spirit guides that she would connect with, and then she would bring them forward for people. And if you said, like, I want somebody to come through specifically for me, she would bring through your spirit guide, and then you could purchase them or buy them out at an auction. It was kind of an auction. All different ones came through, and you could kind of get them. So anyway, I have a list of like 30 some odd spirit guides that I bought. I spent a lot of money at these auctions. And these guides have been wanting to be, I work with a lot of them, but some of them just kind of been waiting. They're like, and I'm like, we need to work with these guides. So I have 3 coming through this month that we're going to work with. 3 dolphins, actually. And there's actually 4, because another one came through to me, and he wants to be a part of this too. But 2 are Killing Cove dolphins. So they were spirits from the Japanese. I don't know if you're familiar. I don't like to go into it too much, but they have killing coves off of Japan, and they go in and they like cull the dolphins. I think it's annually. And so this Facebook friend would go in and gather up a lot of those dolphin spirits who wanted to work with people, because a lot of them, she said, did not, but these did want to work with people. So I've got those 2 Killing Cove dolphins, and I have another dolphin angel, and I have a whale from Sirius B Star that wants to work with us this month. Very watery. And rather than read the energy story as part of this April energy update, I'm going to bring that out in a separate story. So the energy story really brings in the energies of the guides of Tessa Locke, and I think I'd rather just devote a whole podcast episode to channeling that story in, adding to the story for that. So we'll be bringing in those dolphin and whale guides in the next episode of the podcast for the April energy story. The book of the month this month for April is, we're going to go back to the beginning. They're saying Reiki and Rock, so that is the very first book in my Soulmate series, Reiki and Rock. It's out there now on Smashwords. If you want to read it as an ebook, you can so Smashwords distributes to wherever ebooks are: Apple, Google, Barnes and Nobles, not Amazon, or you can go directly to Smashwords and just download the EPUB file. So let's get on with the April energy forecast itself, the cards, the themes that want to come through for April. And back to what I was saying, like when I started channeling April, I was just not getting much. And I'm like, why am I not getting much? It's nomad changing landscapes. No, it's not what it is. Nomad changing landscapes. Nomad changing landscapes. And when I asked my guides about April, they just kept saying it's an enigma. And I was like, holy crap, what does that mean? It's an enigma. So we have it's an enigma, which when I looked up enigma, I just looked up like some other words to describe enigma. And it was like a mystery, a puzzle, things not yet known. And I was like, oh God. And I've heard other way showers who were talking about April say the same thing, that there's something else that they want to talk about for April, but they just can't quite put their finger on what it is. It's this energy of like miracles and blessings, but they don't want the surprise to be spoiled. So they, meaning spirit, all the angelics that are working behind the scenes to orchestrate different things, don't want the surprise to be spoiled. So they're leaving bits and pieces of the storyline. Yeah, I'm getting big because I'm going to get emotional. They're leaving big bits and pieces of the storyline out so that we can be surprised when they happen, basically. So, we already have whales, dolphins, we have castles, because castle is part of the picture, and we have sailboats. So let's go ahead and start working with some cards just to further dive into those themes, see what that means. So I've got the Musician's Oracle deck. I've got Dame Darcy's Mermaid Tarot deck. And I've got my own hand-drawn deck, the Labyrinth of Dragonshire. And for me, like, I don't know about you, I have to immerse myself, like, in the whole experience. So it's like I go to Rockaway Point in my mind, and I think, like, what is it like there? It's a seaside town. We have, you have to kind of, if you read the stories, then you can kind of get into it a little bit more. And then we have this little island kind of off a little bit that we're looking at with binoculars, saying, like, what's over there? I kind of want to see what's over there. And do I have the guts and the courage to maybe row out, get in my little boat and row out to that island and see what's over there? Okay, so I'll just get the cards out. All right, so looks like there's going to be two overarching themes for the month. They're giving me 2 cards, so I'm going to build on these before I start talking about them. So I've got 2 musicians coming out. I'm going to ask for clarifying cards on top of those with my deck and with the Dame Darcy deck. I just heard "Let It Happen." I didn't see it. The card said one thing, but I saw "Let It Happen." Okay, so John Coltrane, and I don't even know who these people are. Great, who are these people? Oh, not again. Okay. If you listen to March, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. And let me just get from the tarot deck. So April so far has been an enigma to me, other than that it feels very deep and watery and emotional. Sheesh. All right. And tarot for this other bit right here. Okay. So the first overarching theme for the month, we got the John Coltrane card. He has a saxophone in the card. It looks kind of like, it says the word John. It's a dynamic quality stereo, and it has the word John in like letters, like in separate blocks, like a J in a block, an O in a block, an H in a block, an N in a block. And the colors on the card are like blue and black and white. And he's got, it's just like his face, and then he's got like a saxophone. It says, take your solo, but give others their moment too. If you follow your own truth, there are no false notes, and find beauty in the unexpected. I'm telling you, the mystery. Find beauty in the unexpected and follow your own truth, meaning follow your heart. So I'm going to go with those themes off this card. For now. Let me see what other cards go with it. So the Dame Darcy cards to go with that are the Moon, intuition, and moons. They're saying that the Aries new moon is very significant for this theme that we're working with right here. The 7 of Swords, and it's got a big full moon in the card. And the other card that goes with it is the King of Pentacles. And the card from my deck is an R. The front of the card is an R with a happy face, and it's got clouds with a sun coming out. And if I look at this in a certain way, it kind of looks like a little sailboat kind of far off in the water. And it says reinvent yourself. And there's 3 dots on the back of the card that aren't connected. They're just 3 dots. But what I've seen with this card before is this kind of means like puzzle pieces coming together, or things starting to connect. Like I just want to take the 3 dots and draw, like, what is that where you draw by numbers or whatever? Like little kids, like connect the dots and draw a picture. This one's like dots are going to start to be connected. So let me see how this all goes together. So let me just channel in what these guides want to say. So Archangel Haniel came, and she is all about the moon and your emotions and following your intuition and listening for signs, which also is part of this John Coltrane card. It says dynamic stereo quality. So you're going to be getting, here's what they're saying. You're going to be getting messages, both incoming, and you're going to be the one. So you're going to be receiving and sending messages back and forth between you and other people. You and another person. You and the moon. So it's like the moon is sending you messages to act, or to react. And again, they're saying this is still shrouded in mystery because they don't want to give up the entire message. So they're saying you're going to have to connect the dots with this message and with a lot of things that are going on in the month of April. The 7 of Swords on this card is this guy, like shipwrecked looking guy. He's got his feet on the sand, and he's kind of like swords are all over the place. But 7 of Swords is like leaving things behind. 2 swords are stuck in the sand, and he's kind of holding on to like 5 more. But he's looking at the moon. And he's looking at the moon in this case to guide him on where he's supposed to go next. And it's this April Aries new moon that's so significant. So I do feel like this is the divine masculine or the divine feminine following the guidance you're getting around this very powerful moon phase of the April Aries new moon, that's going to share with you things you need to do next on your journey. It's going to help you connect the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They keep saying like steps. You're going to do this. And then once you do that, then you'll be given the next step. Okay, do this. And then, you do that, and then they give you the next step. Connecting the dots, connecting the puzzle pieces together, rather than them giving you the whole entire picture up front, which they're saying could overwhelm you and maybe even like frighten you a little bit. They just are going to give you little bits at a time. I'm just turning the pages of my calendar here. What does this have to do with the King of Pentacles? The King of Pentacles is someone that's really good with their pentacles, really good with their finances, really a strong figure who could be coming towards you, wanting to share their pentacles with you, wanting to share their resources to help you out. It could be a romantic partnership, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's someone who's really good with their finances, who wants to help you out in some way. And through that connection, So in this case, I feel like the person moving towards you is the King of Pentacles. And that's the person that's getting their inspiration and their... I keep hearing the echoes lately. I keep getting their echoes from the moon. This moon phase. And the moon phase, the spirits of this moon, this April new moon, are going to be driving you towards your desired outcome, whatever that might be. However you see that, and whatever dots have yet to be connected are going to reconnect. You're going to reconnect through this new moon. It's like the spirits of time, the spirits of space, the lords of karma, and the lords of time are working together to bring these unions and these relationships into form. So this is castles, this is twin flame union for some. This is business partnerships for some, and it could be one and the same. Your twin flame partner could be your business partner. This is all about the Holy Made Manifest, which is another theme for later on in the year. The Holy Made Manifest in many different ways, because the beginning of April, if you follow just the whole resurrection story, like something's being resurrected the beginning of the month and brought into physical form. And they're saying that's all they want to say about that. That they are going to leave that to those that are listening for you to figure out. Go within and ask what that means to you. If that means if you don't already have your own guides, if that means you call in your own guides and you say, what does this mean to me? But they're saying it shouldn't be news to you what's being said, because it's something you've been trying to manifest for quite some time now. And they're even kind of clouding me a little bit, like being able to see, although even I kind of know. They're saying, well, you don't know everything yet, little lady. You think you know, but you don't know all the juicy details. And that if you think you know, even this is to me and you, if you think you know, it's better than you know, and you don't have access to all the dots yet. Oh, so the journey to me, like it could be like dots could be like guide markers on a journey or steps on a journey, things that have to happen. And they're saying you don't have the dots yet. Oh, wow. They're saying you have some of the dots, and the other party that you're coming in contact with has some of the dots. So you're going to get the messages and the steps or the guidance you need for the dots that you have. And the other party that's coming into your proximity in April is going to get the steps and the guidance for the dots that they have. And when you come together, all the dots connect and the whole journey starts to make perfect sense. You're in complete and total alignment, and the whole journey just unfolds anew before you. And you create new dots together with this person. Super cool. So they're saying that's all for the first message. And the second overarching theme, so I guess we'll call that one connecting the dots. It's like dots connect. I don't know. Okay, the second musician card we got was PJ Harvey. I'm not familiar with her at all. She really reminds me of my sister. I do have a sister. We're not in contact, but every time I see this girl's picture, I'm like, it reminds me of my sister when she was younger. But the card says, when in doubt, swim to new ground. That's like our island. Like when in doubt, what did I say earlier? When you feel like things are going to get a little bit overwhelming, you have this little island oasis off the coast of Rockaway Point that you can row to, or it doesn't look that far away. You could swim to it, I guess, if you're a really strong swimmer, and go and just hang out there for a little bit and replenish your spirit. Jam with others, but remain the lead. So that's kind of like leadership. And redream past lives. The Dame Darcy card that came out for this is the Four of Pentacles, about stability and coming into balance. And there's castles on this card too. I'm just saying. It's got some castles on it. And it's got a little cute little sea lion. It's got all sorts of sea creatures, a little swordfish. It's almost like he's underwater. I'm telling you, there's a lot of water. There's a lot of emotion for April. It's almost like he's underwater with the fish. Like if you were in a little fish tank that had like those castles that the fish can swim in, except this appears to be the ocean. But there's castles under there. There's a sea lion. There's a really debonair guy with a crown on. Holding those pentacles, and he really looks like this card has got so much happening, because the biggest pentacle he has is like steering a like holding the rudder of a boat. That's exactly what that looks like to me. So okay, and then the other three cards from my deck that came out with that were Time to Take Stock, Enter the Cave, or Enter the Castle. W, Water, Depths, Emotions, Tears, Fears, and Heart Speak. And my favorite card from last month, if you didn't hear the March forecast, Third Quarter Moon, You're Almost to the End. Okay. So, and these cards together, these three cards together spell out now. N-O-W. Oh my God. Because my Enter the Cave card is a very interesting drawing, but it has an O and an N together, and the word enter, but it has an N like that stands out the most to me right now. And then You're Almost to the End card is an O, but it looks like a third quarter moon, and then the W card is the water card. So last month, if you listen to the last month's forecast, I said specifically to our guides, I'm getting chills, I was like, do not give me the You're Almost to the End card if my manifestation is like so far away that it's almost an insult to me that you give me this card and tell me to wait longer. And I said, I'm okay if you give me this card and it's like a couple of months or a couple of weeks away, but not when it's like months and months, 6, 9, 10 months, a year or 2 years and years. I was like, don't give me this You're Almost to the End card. So we just talked about with the first bunch of cards that things were coming into 3D reality, right? And now we're getting again, You're Almost to the End, but the three cards together spell now. And the PJ Harvey card is When in Doubt, Swim to New Ground. And in this Four of Pentacles, we have someone like steering the rudder of their own little sailboat. So really feel like this is the theme of, okay, but when you start connecting the dots from the first little pile of cards, when you start connecting the dots, when the Holy Maid manifest, when your wishes start coming true, when people or circumstances start to materialize in your 3D reality, and there are things that you've been wishing for maybe quite some time now, maybe years, maybe lifetimes, it could become overwhelming very quickly. Like a tidal wave of emotions could come through, and you're going to need like a safe zone to go to when you just feel overwhelmed with it, because even good emotion can be overwhelming. It doesn't even have to be like anxiety or anger or fear, all that. I mean, good emotion, like intense love, reconnection with someone you haven't seen in lifetimes, manifesting the love of your life, and having worked on that maybe in the 5D for who knows how long, maybe your whole lifetime. And now that thing finally coming into your physical reality can bring on just a tidal wave, a tsunami of emotions. And it's good stuff, right? But you can't function correctly in the tsunami. So you're going to have to find ways to basically let your soul help you control your emotional body. I'm getting really good at this with meditation. I'm telling you, Master Co and I've been doing a lot of meditation. He's so amazing. Just the type of meditation he does works for me. It may not work for everybody. And so we've probably had a past life together, obviously, just as a teacher or student kind of a thing. But I've been getting really good about being able to, be in emotions or be in a certain state. And then as soon as I realize, I don't want to be here anymore, I'm getting really good about pulling up in perspective, going really high in frequency, and detaching from those emotions so that they may not, they don't become overwhelming. So it's the type of ones where it's not something I need to heal, but intense excitement or intense euphoria or bliss or a tsunami of love, something like that, could still carry you away. Falling in love can carry you away to the depths of your soul, but you've also got responsibilities in your life that you have to take care of, and you can't swim there completely. The kind of feelings I'm talking about, you can't stay there 24/7 because it's just too much. So you have to find a way to pull back from that as best you can so that you can take care of other responsibilities in your life. And there is a point where this will all even out, somewhere down the line it evens out, right? But when new things start coming into your life, it's just exciting. You buy a new car, you meet the love of your life after 200 years or whatever. This is the last time you were together. I don't know. But it's just sometimes things can bring about overwhelming emotions of gratitude and of harmony. But you have to be able, with the Four of Pentacles, is being able to balance that and being able to steer the rudder of your own ship, just like I said, and using the kind of almost using the ENIGMA to your advantage, they're saying, because sometimes what you don't know is good for you. Maybe you don't want to have all the dots and know exactly how something's going to happen, because that can be overwhelming. Believe me, I've been through that type of a situation before, and it can kind of burn you out a little bit with anxiety of knowing exactly how something's going to transpire. And if you don't know, if you're not good at detaching from that, then you can really frazzle yourself. You can really kind of burn yourself out. And to know that we're in the now of this manifestation happening, whatever it is, whatever you've wanted for so long, that you're almost to the end, you have to find a way to be in it, but not of it. And so when you start to feel the water, the depths, the emotions, your heart speaking to you and telling you that it's just so in ecstasy with love, you have to, when it starts to feel too much, you have to be able to pull back from that, take stock and enter the cave, and maybe get in your little rowboat or sailboat and sail out to, I'm going to give this little island a name here in a little while, and just commune with the dolphins and the whales and hang out in the castle and just recharge your battery from all of this. Whoa. So it's a very interesting time. I'm really excited. I haven't channeled in all the stuff we're going to do for this month. I think Reiki and Rock being our book, rather than write a new story for the month, I'm going to do an intro and read you some of the beginning chapters of Reiki and Rock, and we can start talking about those as our ASMR storytelling. We're going to do our Spirits of Tessa Locke, and I'm going to leave it open to see what other series. I've started a new short bits series, the bite-sized series, that are more on little short pieces, and I may start doing a little bit more of those, because I have a feeling for me, April may also be that kind of overwhelming, emotionally filled with love month, where I might need to take a few more timeouts than normal, just to balance myself out, and just kind of leaving the podcast open to whatever wants to come through when it does. Will leave me a little bit of leeway to do that this month. So let me just check in with the guides that are here and see if there's anything else they want to share with us about April. They're saying they are complete. And so the next time I see you all, it will be to read our energy story for April, the Spirit Guides of Tessa Locke. And I have a feeling we'll be going out to this little island and working with the dolphins and the whales. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me here. And we will see you all again soon in the next episode. Take care. Thank you for listening to this podcast. It has been brought to you by the Bringers of the Light, an etheric group of higher light beings focused on service to Gaia, humanity, and the self as it pertains to the spiritual journey. So they are here to support you on your path to love and to working with others. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.